Today at Foundry University, we're going to be learning flat iron methods. So today we have a freshly finished bob, so hair above the shoulder. We're going to be sectioning her off. Basically, we're going to keep her side parting, and then we're going to go straight down the middle, and we're going to be working in about 1/2-inch sections. I always want to remember, I want to make sure that I part to my finger every single time. It just makes the rest of my work so much easier. We'll clip that up, we'll turn that up and then clip right through the base. So it's real simple, quick and easy. Although when that hair gets a little bit shorter, it gets a little bit trickier. So I'm just gonna tip her forward a little bit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a hold of this first little section here. I'm gonna use the fine teeth on my comb and I'm gonna comb that directly into my fingers. Okay, I'm gonna hold that between the first two joints on my finger, so that way I maintain tension. And then I'm gonna sneak my iron in right at the scalp, and I'm just gonna gently kind of work that iron open and closing it, so that way you don't shoot steam down onto the scalp. Although our mannequin's she's not gonna give us much in terms of irritation. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow it with my comb, and then I'm gonna finish it right where I wanna lay. I'm gonna maintain just a slight tip in my design. Okay, take that down, part to my finger. Okay, so I'm gonna use the fine teeth again, feed that into my fingers. Hold between the first two knuckles. And then finish it right where I want it to live. When I'm finishing the hair, I don't want to be standing here looking down at my work. I want to make sure that I have a good bird's eye view of it. Actually, that would be a bird's eye view, looking down. So I actually want to be right in front of it. Okay, so I want to kind of be, you don't necessarily have to be on level, but pretty close. That way you can really see how that hair is finishing. A couple things you don't want to do is when you are finishing with a flat iron, the tendency is to have your wrist kind of roll outwards. And so it just gets a real messy kind of broomy finish. But you know, especially on textured haircuts or haircuts where you want to really show off the design line, you really want to make sure that you're finishing with just a slight tip under. So that way it tucks in all of your texture and it just makes things really nice and neat. Now, the key to really doing this successfully is to start with a really well-executed blow dry. I really just want my flat iron work to be kind of a refining technique for my blow dry. And the better my blow dry, the faster I can proceed through this, because I'm not having to correct anything that I shortchanged in my blow dry. I don't have to work through that and correct it. So I can just kind of roll through the motions and make this really quick and efficient and also beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and move on through the side sections into the front. Something else that's key that you really want to think about whenever you're flat ironing. A lot of times you'll see people, they'll get a little crimp in their hair, and that's from closing down on the hair, like so. You can see that. So if you want to make sure that you don't end up with those, what you'll do is you'll take your section and I'll open my iron and then I wrap it around the iron first, so I eliminate that crimp. So hold your section with your tension, hold it out, make sure you drop it onto the blade of the flat iron, onto the plates, and then close. Now, just like when we were going through and round brushing, if you wanted your style to have volume, you would want to make sure that you hold it at the same angles that you created that volume in. So if I wanted a lot of volume, I would work it first in this plane and then regroup. Make sure you regroup, because if you don't, you'll get that buckling on the underside of the hair and you won't have that nice smooth finish. So it's really just 1, 2, 3. So it's out, and I'm primarily working the root area, then slightly down, working mainly the mid area, and then finish, and I'm working mainly the end area and slowing down on the ends. If you think about where the hair gets messy first, it's going to be on the ends, because there's not so much hair and so much weight from the hair, not so much gravity pulling on it. So those ends always get a little extra messy. So I like to slow down. So I'll move pretty quickly through these segments. So roots, mids, and then I slow down a little bit at the ends and just give it a little extra time and attention. And there we have her. If you have any questions about flat ironing hair that's been designed above the shoulder, please drop them in the comments below. We've got new lessons every week, so like and subscribe to Foundry University.